Hello!
Hey! So we're back for round 2 of the little Q&A sesh.
Recording session number 3 for round 2.
I know, the video keeps dying, so we're really hoping this is the final take.
Technical difficulties here.
Yes. But anyway, so today we're doing sort of the more serious questions, the questions about Taylor and our journey with her, and then about our relationship with Christ. So, the first question is kind of a segue. Kelly asked, was there ever a post you had to think twice before publishing? I'm pretty confident usually when I've published things. I've always been open on the blog, and that's just kind of the way we are. But there was a post actually I posted last week, and it was on grieving what to do when the rest of the world moves on, because that could be taken the wrong way by our family and friends. Because I didn't want them to feel like we think that they've abandoned us, because that's not how I feel. But at the same time, it is definitely a stage of grieving where it feels like the rest of the world kind of is moving on a little bit, and that's natural, but they're moving on much quicker than we can or I can. So,
and on a more lighthearted note, there's also some posts previously where it's like, this is kind of like new news, or like there's some stuff where you're like, oh hey, I don't know if we should tell people this yet, like telling people that we were pregnant and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's always like a double check, like, hey, are we ready to post this kind of thing?
Definitely, yeah. And we waited to tell people we were pregnant for a little bit. We didn't publish that one right away. But yeah, we always talk about it. We're always on the same page when we publish things. Brianna asked, were you and Parker trying to conceive when you got pregnant? Yes.
We'll let you guess. Yes, we were trying.
We were. It took us 5 months to conceive her.
Took a little while.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Kelly asked, did we ever get to hold our daughter? No. We had the choice. When she went to heaven, we had to get her body out of mine some way, either through surgery or me going into labor and delivering her. And we were given the option. Both were safe, both were medically fine, and it was something I really, 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 really wrestled with.
But if she went into labor, there's also the possibility we'd have to do the surgery anyways.
Yeah, it was. But if we went into labor and delivered her, we got to hold her and see her. If we had the surgery, we forewent that option. So, and Parker left it up to me. He wanted me to feel confident in it, not have any regrets, which was great. I appreciated that. And after a lot of praying and thinking on it, we decided to do the surgery. So we never got to see her, but we both have images in our head of what we think she looks like in heaven. And
ultimately, it's just kind of her physical body.
Yeah, it was just her shell. She was already in heaven. She'd been in heaven for a week at that point when we had the surgery. So we'll see her and hold her in heaven. But no regrets. We made the right decision for us, but it was an awful decision to make. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Not a fun decision. So Kelsey asked, when do we want to start trying to have another child?
We'll see.
We'll see.
It's kind of up in the air right now just because of the fact that there's a medical reason. Our doctor said Chelsea shouldn't. We need to wait at least 6 months is what the doctor said.
Yeah, the surgery was pretty tough on my body, so they said you need to heal, which is honestly kind of a blessing because it takes the pressure off of us, and we don't have to be, because our minds are still very much on Taylor.
And then there's also the aspect of, I'm about to go into the fleet, timing-wise, is it going to make sense? I don't really want to be gone, especially since the last pregnancy. I personally don't want to miss. And I want to be there for Chelsea if she needs me, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of up in the air. We'll see what happens.
Sorry about a vague answer. Not in the next few months, though. We can say that. What is your favorite Bible verse? Stephanie asked. He had a really long answer for this take we did before.
Yeah, but Texas A&M, they kind of drilled in our head, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends, John 15:13. And it's a good Bible verse just because I think a lot of people kind of get lost in, like, me, I, and everyone's always like, hey, I don't really care what happens to other people, I want to go further in my career, or I want to be seen as cool, or whatever. And a lot of people kind of lose the big picture of it's more important to take care of other people and kind of be selfless in that regard. And I don't know. It's good to take care of your friends.
That verse really fits Parker's personality too.
I like it.
Yeah. Mine has always been Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. It's been my favorite verse ever since I was little. It's hanging in 3 different places in our home. And my sister read it at our wedding day, and it was actually my verse of the day on my little phone app the day we found out that Taylor had triploidy. So just been a great verse throughout my life. Love it. Okay, these next couple questions are from Lori. She said, you grew up in Christian homes. When did you become Christians, and when did it go from what the family says to do, vice, I want a relationship with Christ and personal on my own? So.
And I think both of our parents did a good job of instilling the importance of having a relationship, and less of like an attendance-based church type scenario, and more of, our goal should be to have a relationship with the Lord and be good Christian people that just happen to go to church on Sunday. But I mean, obviously, at some point, you're a child and don't necessarily understand everything, being forced to go to church. And then also, we talked about this a little bit earlier, which is, in college, you kind of had a choice. Like, there's no longer, hey, my parents are forcing me to go to church. There's no, gun to our head, so to speak. And that's, I guess, for me, that's when I started, seeking out God on my own.
Mm-hmm. I started praying a lot more on my own in college. And that's been the biggest way for me to grow personally. So yeah, definitely probably college when we were on our own and forced to be on our own and stand on our own 2 feet. So, how do you encourage each other on your personal walks with Christ? Do you pray together? We absolutely pray together.
Definitely.
We pray every night and just throughout the day, and he's definitely my biggest accountability partner, and I think I'm his, because it's just sort of a safe haven. We can talk to each other about anything. And so we're able to encourage each other that way. And praying together is really big. It's great for your relationship, too. It really brings you closer together.
And there's so much power in prayer, obviously.
Yeah.
And just sharing that kind of moment. Even if it's just praying over a meal or praying before you go to bed.
Mm-hmm. And definitely, I know it was very, maybe faith-affirming getting to pray with Parker over Taylor. That was pretty powerful for me, I think. So prayer is a big one. So we move a lot. Yep. How do we find a new church? And when we move, what do we look for in a church?
This one's hard.
Oh, this is like my least favorite part of moving, is finding a church. Because sometimes we've gotten lucky and other times not so much. Our favorite church of all time is Brazos Fellowship in College Station.
It's kind of hard to compete.
If you live there, go, please.
Chelsea could put a link here.
I'll put a link on down there because we podcasted a lot. Link down here. Yeah, that's a tough one. The biggest thing we look for is biblically based churches. I mean, I don't like going somewhere where I didn't even see them open up the Bible, or they didn't.
Yeah, we don't want to call any churches out that we've been to.
No.
But we've visited a couple where, like a mega church type scenario, and you go and they're just kind of trying to like, hey, go buy my book.
They're just feel good messages.
This is a feel good message, and here's like a Bible verse from like random places that don't necessarily correlate together, or there's not even context. Like, it's not like, oh, Jesus was doing this at the time, and this is why he did this and this. It's just like Bible verse, random. Here's my message.
Yeah, like there's some churches
pastors that I don't know.
Yeah, there's some churches that like they take a scripture from the Bible and base the message around that, and there are some churches that decide on their message and then pull scriptures to try to support it that aren't even taken out of context. So, yeah. Finding a church is kind of hard. And
Chelsea will be the first to admit she also likes to have contemporary music.
I do. I grew up in contemporary churches. I grew up listening to contemporary music. I don't necessarily love the hymns.
So, I like hymns, just because I know them usually.
Yeah, I definitely like more contemporary music for sure. So that's something we look for. We think we might have found a church here. Yeah,
it's
maybe.
Possible.
We thought we had, and then we decided we... So, yeah, anyway. Do you think you can grow spiritually without going to church regularly?
I think so, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that church can be seen as the only way to grow spiritually, because what happened with Taylor was the most faith-affirming experience of my entire life, and that happened in the home, completely outside of church. And so I think church is a great way to further your relationship with Christ, but it's not a one-and-done type thing.
Yeah, and I think, like, you can just look at it from, like, a growth perspective. Like, sometimes maybe what you need to do in your life is to change your life and go do something crazy, or go, for someone in the military, maybe they experience, the Lord when they're on deployment, or, I think of like guys maybe going on like a camping trip or an adventure and just being out there and seeing the world and changing things and doing things, and not necessarily like being strict, like, hey, I need to go to church every week to have a good relationship with the Lord, but, just reading the Bible and, that sort of thing.
Yeah. I think there's so many elements and aspects of spiritual growth, and church is definitely one, but it's not the only one. So I think you can.
We don't even, we watch church online.
Half the time, yeah. Well, we found a new church, but a lot of times when we're in between and we're waiting to find a new church, yeah, we just watch it online. And,
Or when it's raining outside.
or when it's pouring down rain and we don't want to go. Anyways, bonus question. This is from LaDonna, and I should have answered this one yesterday, but I forgot. What was an eye-opener when you got married?
Oh, huh.
She don't have a good answer for this one.
She has a good one.
Fairly well. I have a good one. He said I'm not allowed to say it.
It's too embarrassing.
It's not bad. See, now they're probably thinking something worse than it actually is. You have to let me say it.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Something
I just don't know how someone could always just wake up and be so beautiful, you know?
Oh, gosh.
It's difficult being a model, you know? And Chelsea does it very gracefully.
So now I have to say something sweet, too.
And your turn?
How can someone... I didn't know, he was so good looking all the time. That was
okay.
a
We're
surprise.
not that vain.
No, this is obnoxious.
But there's things. There's just like things like you don't realize, or maybe like
little quirks or
for example,
preferences.
When we got married, Chelsea had always told me she was a very clean individual. Very clean, very organized. Voted most organized in the 3rd grade.
8th grade.
8th grade.
My teacher voted me most organized.
But sometimes people don't put stuff up where it goes. Maybe they just leave their crap out all over the table. No examples here. No examples to this side. But
haters gonna hate.
That's one thing about getting married is there's gonna be things that are gonna be weird about the other person or different than you do it.
Different, definitely, yeah. And we definitely both think very differently.
Like squirrel and moose, you work together,
Moose and squirrel.
Moose and squirrel.
Quoted friends. Nice. Yeah, I can't think of a specific. Gosh, there's so many. What was a surprise for me? I really just want to say the one. No. All the girls can identify with that. They can.
Okay, you can tell them, but I only do it in my sleep.
Oh, please. Okay, so the flatulence was eye-opening. Guys are so gassy. And I promise, Parker, all the girls are going, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, you're all like it. And yeah, it's just all the farting. I'm sorry to end it on this note, but that's the one that comes to mind. That was the most eye-opening.
Maybe we should edit this in part
again.
out. Cut.
Anyway, I wrote a post on this like a year ago on Disney gave me unrealistic expectations because they never.
But there's also a lot of fun surprises.
Yeah.
Like when I fart.
I can't think of anything, but yeah. Marriage has been awesome. I mean, being married has been
we recommend it.
The greatest, yeah. Marry your best friend. It's a good time.
Anyways.
So, anyway, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully we answered your questions. Yep. See you later. Bye.